Coastal Echoes is a collection about my walks at Aberdeen Beach. I love to see the waves changing all the time, and I love to see a moody, cloudy sky, and then all the textures and colours of the coastline. It's also about my memories of being at the sea or at the coast, about the atmosphere and how it makes me feel. I'm trying to capture that glimpsed moment in time in a landscape that is ever changing and eroding. I hope that my designs can be the beauty and the quiet solitude that I feel when I'm standing on the beach. I want them to be a comfort and to feel familiar, little echoes of the coast. I'm Emma Louise Wilson, and I'm a silversmith, jeweller and enameller, based in Aberdeen in the northeast of Scotland. I have a workshop which is in a block of artist studios near the harbour in Aberdeen, and it doesn't get great views, but it does get lots of lovely natural daylight, so I've filled it with lots of colourful things which make it a really lovely, inspiring place to work. I make hand-raised fine silver bowls with enamel decoration on the inside and small collections of silver and enamel jewellery. The enamel is the main focus of my work. It's just such a beautiful material, and it really works well with my style of work. I use a lot of processes in my work. So I use hand raising, I do wax carving, I do jewellery making, and I do the enamelling. My initial idea for this collection was to look at all the lines I could see at the coast. So the horizon line, the lines of the waves, the lines on the rocks and the pebbles, and then the lines on the sand left by the retreating waves. This idea then developed into more abstract shapes and forms, which began to look like fragments of the seascape or echoes of the lines and patterns which had inspired me. I decided then to focus on the seascape, waves and weather for the 12 pieces in this collection. Part of my process involved doing lots of watercolour painting in my sketchbook, and these then inform the enamel designs. I do these at the start and often go back and do some more during the designing process. I like to try and replicate some of the characteristics of the watercolour in the enamel, as although they're very different materials, they do both share some very beautiful visual qualities, such as their transparency. I made a lot of copper and enamel samples for this collection so that I could work out which colours worked well together and to develop the composition, abstracting, simplifying and refining as I went along. I ended up with a fairly pared back, simple colour palette. I used opaque white as the base, which almost worked a bit like the watercolour paper, and I then layered the enamel colours on top, the transparent and the opaque colours, to create the compositions. I then added in some fine silver inlay to create highlights. I rubbed back the surface of the enamel with abrasives to make them matte, which really highlights the composition and the silver inlay, but also makes them look a bit like paper. The process of rubbing them back also makes the pieces look a little worn away, which I think resonates with the theme of Coastal Echoes. Everything on a beach is being worn away and eroded by the sea, and our memories fade over time. So I think I'm trying to capture a little bit of all of that in the enamel. When I'm working, I like to let the materials and process take over a little bit. I can't completely control how the watercolour will look when it's dry. Similarly, I don't always know how the enamel is going to look when it comes out of the kiln or after it has been rubbed back. I like to let this happen because, again, I think it goes back to my inspiration and the seascape, which is constantly changing and unpredictable. And I really like that fluidity and unpredictability of it, that I don't know what I'm going to get, and it's different every time. The jewellery pieces in this collection are designed to look like mini works of art, which can be worn, and I hope people will wear them in that spirit. Some of the brooches have silver inlay, which catches the light with the movement. The brooches and the rings are quite large statement pieces, and I hope they will spark conversation. My bowls are designed to feel like pebbles when held in the hand. They have a comforting weight and texture, and although they will look beautiful on a shelf or in a cabinet, I really hope that the owners will from time to time pick them up and hold them for a while, and hopefully this will trigger a lovely memory of being by the sea.